The genius of Hot Ones is the way physical discomfort can cause the barriers between your mental filter and mouth to crumble. A few bites of spicy wings and you're suddenly blabbing about everything. Here are some of the craziest things viewers were privy to on Hot Ones. When you think of Steve-O from Jackass, you probably think of self-induced pain. The guy has done everything from being catapulted in a porta-potty to playing tetherball with a beehive. However, Steve-O told Hot Ones that one of the most memorable and damaging stunts that he ever pulled happened at the University of Miami. A night of hard partying came to a screeching halt when he threw himself off a balcony and landed on the concrete, face first. He had plenty of injuries to show for his antics.
I broke my cheekbone, and I broke 7 teeth, 10 stitches in my chin, a concussion, and a broken wrist, all in one fall.
In classic Steve-O fashion, he broke out of the hospital the very next morning and returned to the scene of the crime, where he pounded a beer with his college buddies. And this was before he started collecting an endless list of injuries during his Jackass days. Hot Ones host Sean Evans perfectly articulated what many people have thought about Steve-O through the years.
The fact that you're here today, Steve-O, is a miracle.
I know. How the did I survive that?
When you're a celebrity with a ton of clout and a huge bank account, partying is taken to a whole new level. Ja Rule told Hot Ones that when he was partying with another rapper in Miami, the two took it one step further into illegal territory. According to Ja Rule, DMX pulled up to his hotel in a Mercedes-Benz, urging his buddy to jump in for a cruise. As you can imagine, a joyride offered by DMX is far from a leisurely drive through the countryside. The pedal never left the metal, and after weaving through traffic like a maniac, the cops eventually nabbed them. When he had no other choice, DMX confessed about where he got the car.
Come to find out, he stole the car from Michael Kaiser. It was Kaiser's car that worked for Def Jam.
Ja Rule went on to say that once DMX explained that the car was, quote, borrowed from a friend, the cops let them go. Unfortunately, since neither had a license, they couldn't drive the car away. So DMX stepped out of the vehicle and started hitchhiking. Within minutes, a female fan pulled up in hysterics and drove them back to her grandmother's house, where the two rappers were welcomed with open arms.
Grandma's cooking us food, taking pictures with all the kids. Long story short, it was a great day. But it was
Thank God X stole that car.
Thank God X stole that car.
Tommy Chong's never hidden the fact that he likes to get high. Really, really high. Watch any Cheech and Chong film and you'll immediately realize this guy belongs to an elite league of stoners few humans can keep up with. Although he's made a name for himself as one of the kings of Kush, he doesn't draw the line at marijuana. Chong dabbles in it all. He told Hot Ones that he once took LSD before watching the movie Thumbelina and found himself in quite a pickle.
Dude, how good would a pickle be right now? Oof.
According to Chong, he and his wife dropped acid right before they brought their daughter to a matinee showing of the film. At one point, Thumbelina is supposed to marry a mole, which Chong thought was a rat. Meanwhile, in the theater, kids were running around, and somehow it all got mixed up in Chong's mind.
And when I was on acid, I felt like there were rats running up and down the aisle. And it just scared the dickens out of me.
Luckily, as Chong explained, his daughter was so fixated on the film, she didn't notice that her parents were huddled together in fear of the imaginary rodents. While this wasn't one of the greatest moments in parenting history, it was definitely an unforgettable experience that Chong could probably sum up in 3 words.
Far out, man.
Not only is comedian Jeff Ross an absolute master at roasting people, hence his nickname, Roastmaster General, but he knows the importance of comedy, especially for places that see violence on a daily basis. He's even been to the Middle East so he could perform for the troops and show his gratitude for their work. But traveling to a war-torn area always comes with risks. Ross told Hot Ones that during one of his visits, his hotel was hit with a mortar shell in the middle of the night while everyone was asleep. But that wasn't even the most frightening night on the trip.
So that next night was scarier.
Did you
knowing
sleep
that
at all?
3 floors up was all blown out?
Even though the hotel was hit, it was still the safest place in Baghdad for him to stay. As much as he tried to cast it aside and stay calm, his anxiety refused to let him fall asleep. All he could envision was another mortar shell striking his room at any minute. Always a supporter of the troops, Ross took a moment on Hot Ones to, once again, show his appreciation.
Hats off to those people overseas.
Comedian Bobby Lee told Hot Ones that before his bank account was something to brag about, he found himself in one very desperate and frankly dangerous living situation. He was crammed into an apartment with 8 other people in a Los Angeles neighborhood, and as Lee describes it, the apartment had an unfortunate nickname and some unique inhabitants.
They called it the dumpster, and we lived with a 50-year-old homeless man named Dave. He was like a gypsy, a hippie guy.
Another roommate was a 16-year-old runaway with a meth addiction. For an extra bit of madness, Jackass's wee man would sometimes stop by his place and crash for the night. Fortunately for us, Lee finished most of the story about his humble origins before he hit a Hot Ones wall.
How are you feeling? Are you still with us?
Most fans of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia know that actor Charlie Day is actually married to his co-star Mary Elizabeth Ellis, but they probably don't know how they met. In between bites of ultra-spicy wings, Day told the whole story on Hot Ones. Day and one of his friends were at a bar when they happened to notice Ellis. They both called dibs on who would go talk to her, and neither of them were willing to back down. So they decided to arm wrestle for it. The victor was granted the opportunity to approach Ellis first. Luckily for Day, his friend wasn't in the best shape.
Well, one of my skinniest, weakest friends, so I was able to beat him in an arm wrestling competition.
After Day won the match, he approached Ellis, and the two eventually tied the knot. Host Sean Evans asked Day if he ever considered how different his life would be if he had lost the competition. And Day was quick with an answer.
No, I still would have talked to her because I'm not the most honorable person.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about food shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.